Let's do it now.
Turn up the volume nice and loud. Cause we are controlling transmission with dance beats and R&B. Dawn Marie. You're in the mix with Lil Drummer Girl. With your host, Dawn Marie. In the mix. Dawn Marie.
Hey, it's Dawn Marie here. I'm so excited because today I have a super special guest, Alan Childs, who is an amazing drummer. He was born in New York and he moved to Brooklyn, my own stomping grounds. And Alan got into the music business after seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. He started to actually make a living playing drums at 16 years old, and he went on to play with artists such as David Bowie, Julian, Lennon. He's toured on Broadway with shows like Tommy, The Who Story, Elton John's Aida, Rent, and he's currently performing on the Rock of Ages at the Las Vegas Rio Hotel. And I am so excited that he took time to do me the honor of being here tonight. So hi, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm great, Don. It's very nice here in Las Vegas today. It's 82 degrees and sunny and dry as a bone.
How long have you been in Vegas now?
It's about a little over 3 years. I did the Rock of Ages first national tour in 2010. And it lasted for about 2 years, and I got the call from Vegas. They wanted to know if I'd be interested in relocating. And at this point in my life, I kind of did want to stop living out of a suitcase and settle down. And I took a gamble. Of course, it's Las Vegas, but I gambled on the show running, because a lot of shows come here and they tanked after like 2 or 3 months. But Rock of Ages seems to be the perfect show for Las Vegas, and it's over 3 years now.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, I was thinking of the title, Rock of Ages, and that's a Def Leppard song, right?
Yeah, the song is not in the show. Originally, they wanted the song in the show, but Def Leppard refused.
Really?
Yeah, but I believe when they saw the success of the Broadway show, I think the song is in the movie version.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you play 7 nights a week?
That's correct.
Wow. Oh, that's insane.
Yeah. That's
so,
pretty, yeah.
Wow. And how many hours is the show?
It's only 2 hours.
It's only 2 hours.
They say you work every day, but if you really think about it, I'm only working 2 hours.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's a high energy 2 hours. But it's
exactly. I mean, I know playing. It's so strenuous to me. I mean, I just think it's amazing to have that kind of stamina to play every night. So how many sticks do you use it within a month? I can only imagine how many you go through.
Oh, that's funny you say that because we reordered yesterday. I go through they call it a brick, which is a dozen sticks. They call that a brick for some reason. And I go through about a brick every 3 weeks.
Oh, wow, okay. That's a lot of drumsticks.
That's a lot of sticks. Some of the cast members ask me to keep the sticks on the side, and they take them home for like firewood, or one guy does a sculpture with the drumsticks. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh, wow. I'd love to see that. That must be pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep.
Does he have anything online, or what's his name?
Oh, that's Robert Fleur. He's one of the actors. I'll get a picture. I can get a picture. I don't
oh, yeah, I would love to see that. Yeah. So tell me something. Like when you're out there performing, if you have any mistakes, how do you handle that?
Mistakes?
If I'm sure you don't make any, but if you did ever, like even in your early days, if you were making mistakes, like how did you handle that?
Well, I got to tell you, in my early days, I don't remember making mistakes, but occasionally now on Rock of Ages, maybe it's because I've been playing it for so long. It's like like total, it's almost 6 years, including
Wow.
the tour and sitting down here in Vegas. So every once in a while, and this happens to everyone in the band, your mind starts to wander, and like, you could be playing, We're Not Gonna Take It, and you're thinking about, did I buy Nutella when I was at the store? I'm not sure. And you might slip and actually go to the wrong section or forget where you are in a song, or, so that happens very rarely, but it does happen. And I'm pretty good at catching my mistakes and just continuing like nothing happened. Except the band will know, so the band knows when.
Right. Right, but the audience will never know.
Exactly.
Do you sight read while you're doing the show, or is it just all done now just by
Well, all Broadway, all Broadway shows have a book of charts, and so like all the shows I've ever done for all the Broadway shows I've ever done, I've always started out reading the charts. And the beginning of a tour or the beginning of a run of any Broadway show, I am reading the charts maybe for a month or two, the longest, maybe 2 months. And then I memorize it, and that's it. So I haven't looked at a chart for this show in 6 years.
Oh, wow. So how often do you practice, and for how long do you practice? Or do you not practice anymore in between shows?
I do not practice, but I do warm up.
And what do you do for your warm-ups?
I just, before I leave to the show, I have a cup of coffee and I sit and watch the news, and I just play on a practice pad and get my wrists moving. That's all. And just to loosen up, maybe 10 minutes, that's all. And then when I feel loose, I'm done.
Nice. I like to do that. So, how long did you tour with David Bowie for?
I did one tour with him, and that lasted just about a year.
Was that through America, or was that... I'm sorry?
Yeah, that was in 1987.
87, okay. And was that in the U.S., or was that both U.S. and overseas? Or?
That was worldwide.
Nice. Wow. I remember I worked at Rocket Cargo, and they would handle all of the logistics of shipping the concerts from place to place. And one day they were like, "Oh, David Bowie stuff is coming in from a party that he had," and he had some amazing props that he had. And I remember taking some photos with them, thinking, "This is fun."
Yeah. I actually remember Rocket Cargo.
Oh, you do? Yeah. So, do you know Steve Bernstein at all?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was one of the owners, him and his brother. I forget his brother's name. But, I was an assistant vice president there for a very short stint after I left Polygram Records, and it was cool. One day, U2's car came in from the Europa tour, and it was all mirrored, like a 1957 Chevy or whatever it was, convertible, and the whole car was mirror chipped and leopard fur seats. It was really fun. I wore like a leopard outfit that day to go to work and sit in the car and take photos. It's just like, you don't see that every day.
No, you don't. So you work for Polygram?
I worked for Polygram in their merchandising division for a short while, and before that I worked in MCA Music as a publisher for 3 years. And then I've always played drums since I'm 19. I actually learned drums through the drummer in the orchestra of a play I was doing for Live on the Roof. I was a dancer in the orchestra, in the chorus, and I met him, and he actually let me get on his set and play because I said I always wanted to play, and so it's pretty funny that you've done a lot of Broadway stuff. I mean, that's awesome. It's a really stressful run. I mean, you did 2 shows a day, didn't you?
On the Broadway thing, you only did, on the tour, Saturday and Sunday, you did a matinee and an evening show. Just
okay.
Sunday.
Just,
yeah.
That's a lot.
Did you know a girl named Sherry Ring? She worked for I think CBS. for a long time.
Sherry Rain? No, actually, I worked at Sony, but it was after CBS Records turned to Sony Music.
Oh, okay.
And
So that was
worked there for a little bit. So I started in the business, I guess it was around 88 when I actually started working for the label. But before that, I did I was, when I was 16 years old, I tried managing a local rock band, and I thought, who am I? But hey, I loved music, so. But anyway, let's get back to you.
You were trying to find the next Beatles, huh?
Oh, yeah. Actually, speaking of the Beatles, I actually got to administer the Beatles catalog because Michael Jackson came to MCA Music to administer his catalog, and I was blown away because I have a sister who's 16 years older, and she turned me on to this Sgt. Pepper's album. I was playing drum parts in my head at 3 years old, on her hip, and here I was administering their catalog thinking, oh, my gosh. And then with Julian, and you toured with Julian, too.
Oh, yeah, I did 2 tours and an album with him.
Nice. And do you stay in touch?
Yep.
Awesome. How's he doing?
Pretty good. He's really into photography lately.
I saw that last year. I saw you did a show in New York, and I met him a few times way back in the 80s there, and he was a really cool dude. Really cool.
He's a good guy. He was here in Vegas about maybe a year ago. He came by. It was Whoopi Goldberg's birthday, and
oh wow,
they're friends. I can't believe it. And he texted me. I was at the show, and I just finished, and he said, "I'm across the street at Treasure Island."
That's awesome.
What a surprise,
Yeah. Oh, that's really great. I would love to say hi if I get a chance. It's been a long time. I told him a joke once, and he liked it a lot, and I heard that he was repeating it to other people. So I thought that was cool, that he liked one of my jokes. I like dirty jokes. What can I say?
Oh, okay.
I'm bloody.
Everyone does.
So what's your favorite? I'm sorry?
No, I was saying I miss those China Club days.
So do I. I was going to say the same thing because I don't know if did you ever get to the new one? I never got to the new one when they moved from the Beacon area.
No, I was already out of town working too much.
Yeah, I hear you.
That one. I did get to go. I got to go to the opening of the Miami China Club back in '87.
They opened one in Miami? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because they waited to open until the Bowie tour got to Miami.
Ah, that was smart. That must have been great press for them.
Yeah, and someone posted on a posting in Facebook recently a picture of David and Mick Jagger, and that picture is actually at that China Club in Miami.
Wow. I mean, they don't still have one there, do they?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. So, what is your favorite drum kit setup?
I have a pretty standard setup. I use one bass drum with a double pedal. On this kit that I just recently got, which is one of those see-through kits, the acrylic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Tama. I have a Tama acrylic kit, and I'm waiting for them to make a 13 tom. But right now I'm using a 10, 12, 16.
Nice. And do you have a lot of percussion around you as well?
No, I just have like a bell-tree, chimes, like chimes. That's it.
Cool. Well, what is your favorite?
Yeah.
Cowbell? Yeah.
A cowbell and tambourine I play too.
Oh, nice. What is your favorite cymbal company?
I don't have a favorite, believe it or not. I'm using Zildjian, Sabian, and Tasty.
Oh, wow.
I'm using all. Yeah.
Very cool. And what size What size sticks do you play with?
I'm using Jackie Vic Firths.
Oh, Vic Firths? Cool.
Mm.
What's the weight on those?
Not too heavy, but they're a little longer than the normal stick. Just a drop longer.
Very cool. Do you get anxious at all or nervous before going on stage to play?
No.
No. Never?
I mean, like the first show with David or the first show with Julian or Rod Stewart, whoever, just at maybe the very, very first show, I might be a little nervous. But once we start going, it's full steam ahead.
Wow, that's awesome. To this day, every time I'm in front of an audience, I get like butterflies. I just get so nervous. What is your favorite? I'm sorry.
No, are you playing now? Are you playing in a band? Or?
No, I never went into the band thing. I always wanted to play just for fun. But like my first live gig, Steve Longo, that played with Leslie West. Yeah. Well, he was having a birthday jam, and he knew I was a drummer, and he's like, "Oh, you got to come down and play." And I had just started to play on a kit and got my first kit, and I'm thinking, really, this is crazy. So he's like, "Hey, yeah, pick a song, study it." I had a couple of weeks, so I thought, okay, I'll do it. Today's Your Birthday by the Beatles, and practice that song for 2 weeks. And I get on they call me up that night, and there was Spodiotes. You remember Spodiotes at all?
I do remember that, on the west side, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I used to promote a night there on Tuesday. I had a production night that I was doing with my bands getting up there and stuff like that. So I go and I get on stage. I'm with Ace Frehley, and Dion was there. And I'm thinking, I can't believe I'm playing for the first time live in my life, and I've got like these mega stars on stage. And
wow.
They changed the song on me. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna just do something like jam it," and I'm thinking, "Are you kidding me?" So I was freaking out, and they we did some like blues riffs or what have you, and they kept me up there for like 3 songs. So I thought, well, I guess I didn't suck. They kept me up there for 3 songs. So, and I was. What's that?
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah, it was fun. It was such a memorable evening. And then Jen Nelson, do you know Jen Nelson? Do you remember when he used to hang around a lot at the China?
Yeah.
Well, he was there, and we were friends, and I come off the stage, and he came running up to me. He's like, "Oh, my God, yeah, that was awesome." I was like thinking, this is surreal. Like, can somebody pinch me, please? Because this is crazy. But no, I don't play in a band. I just play out. Like, if I get a chance, somebody invites me up, I'll play, and, it's just for fun. It's just a hobby.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I do remember Spodiotes, because one night I was hanging out, and John Waite was there, and I used to play with John. And before I knew it, we were up on stage, and we did like a mini set.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I can't remember the guy's name who ran that place, but I think one of the partners opened something up in Miami somewhere, and I think it's still there. I forget what it's called now.
Also, I think the guy that owned it was a guy named Jerry Brandt.
That's right, Jerry, and he used to do something with Studio 54.
He was the owner of the Ritz.
Oh, that's what it was, the Ritz. Okay. Yes, I remember. He would have these great parties on his rooftop. Did you ever go to those?
Yep. And the only reason I know him, because I never look to be friends with club owners and stuff like that, but the reason I knew Jerry Brandt was when I lived in Brooklyn, when I was growing up in Canarsie, Brooklyn.
Cool.
His brother was in one of the very first bands that I ever saw. When I saw a band play live, his brother was Stewie Brandt, and they were in a band called the Lundy Beats, and they played in the local music store Windows grand opening.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's wild.
Yeah, so Stewie, his brother was Jerry Brandt, and that's how I knew Jerry. And when I was just a punk kid, Jerry Brandt owned the Electric Circus.
No, he did. He did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And I was underage, and Stewie Brand took us to the Electric Circus. All I remember is I just didn't understand what kind of world I was in. You know, it was like lights. It was dark, but there was spinning lights, and it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my life. But I was just a kid. But
and it all began.
Well said. And it all began.
So, your show is called Psychedelic Circus. You have a TV show that you do now, right?
Yeah, a little internet show. It's so much fun.
And that's on the Vegas All Net radio station?
No, that's changed stations. Now it's on WWDB Corporation, and it's always on my Facebook. There's a link on it now. That show's about pretty much all the bands that I like, all the bands that I grew up listening to, and all the bands that I like now. And I talk about each band. The show's a little under an hour. And it's like the old MTV. Just music.
Oh, yeah. I miss that.
Yeah.
Definitely. So tell me something. What do you do when you're relaxing? Like, I mean, what do you do to just, because if you're working 7 days a week, even though you're only working 2 hours a day, you still have to, be on at all times when you're playing. What do you do for fun to just chill out and relax?
I hardly chill out and relax. My day revolves around the show. It's like I have to keep my days so I don't burn myself out for the show.
I hear you.
So I've got a pattern now. I got it down. And what my typical day is, I get up, eat breakfast, and go to the gym in the morning. And I get that out of the way. And then I do some chores, if I have to go to the store. And then I will take a nap around like 4 or 5 o'clock, like for a half hour, 45 minutes. And then I'm fresh for the show. I'm fresh for the kill.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah. And sometimes in the afternoon I might record because I do my own stuff at home. And sometimes I'll do that after the show. And
so are you up all night till 5 in the morning kind of a thing? And, when the sun's coming up, you just go to sleep?
No, I can't do that. I won't. That don't work. I'll do that just very rarely. But
right.
Even if I I get home early after the show. My show starts at 7:30. I'm out of there by 9:30. I'm home by 10. So
oh, wow.
If I want to record, I'll do 4 hours and go to sleep at 2 or something like that.
Nice. That's a great schedule. You can't beat that, actually. That's awesome.
Not too bad. Yeah, I got it down.
Pretty good. So I have to touch on this because I'm a huge vinyl collector myself, but is it true that you once had over 3,000 record albums?
A little under 3,000.
Wow. That's amazing. How young were you when you bought your first record? Do you remember?
Yeah. My first record was Get a Job by the Silhouette. It was like kind of like the end of the doo-wop days, I guess.
Uh-huh.
And believe it or not, I think Al Cooper had something to do with that record.
Oh, wow.
He might have played piano on it. But I remember my early singles were like The Marvelettes, Please Mr. Postman, Dion and the Belmonts, Dion the Wanderer, and the Four Seasons, Sherry and Ragdoll. Anyway, I started collecting. So that was like mid-'60s. And by the 80s, I had just about 8,000 LPs.
That's amazing. So do you play any...
Yeah.
Do you play any other instrument besides drums?
Yeah. I play guitar, keyboards, bass, and vocals.
Oh, wow. Did you study them through school, or did you just pick them up on your own and just started playing them?
Yeah, it's so weird. I just picked it up.
Wow. So you're a genius on top of it all. That's awesome.
Hey, Dawn, I wouldn't go that far.
No, it's really tough to teach yourself anything, let alone different instruments with notes. I mean, that's really tough to do.
Yeah,
it really is.
but see, the thing is, I don't know the notes. I just know how to play.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
So here's a couple personal questions. What's your favorite food?
It's a tie between Japanese and Italian.
Oh, and what would you say is your favorite travel spot?
My favorite what?
Travel spot.
Oh, well, I used to like going to Europe a lot, but I used to like Spain. I like Madrid a lot. Yeah, but I spent my whole life traveling, and now for the past 3.5 years, I've been in one spot for the first time in my adult life. And
wow, how does that feel for you?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it actually, because I guess I spent my whole adult life on the road. That being home is kind of like a novelty.
Yes.
And
no, that's awesome.
You know, yeah, but I'm getting used to it now, and I'm enjoying it.
Well, I think you're entitled to have that place that you can call home and come home to and have that stability, because I can only imagine. I used to work with the NHL, and I used to have to travel on the road for the broadcasting team and deal with the Stanley Cup Finals. So we were on the road for 2 weeks, and it used to drive me crazy because we're going from one city to the other city. And I thought to myself, I want my own bed. I don't want to sleep in a hotel room anymore. I don't want room service anymore. And it's really, I can't even imagine doing it for as long as you've done it. That's got to be really amazing. I just keep picking up and moving, keep picking up and going. I've never experienced that.
Yeah, well, I got so used to it in the early 80s. I started traveling, and as the years went by, the traveling got better and better. Like the hotels went from Hotel 6 to the Ritz-Carlton. You know,
right.
So like when I started going, yeah. So, you know, I started enjoying like the Four Seasons hotels and the Ritz-Carltons, and that's all I knew. I was like, this is it. I'm fine moving around like this.
Well, hey, if it's 5 stars or better, you can't be beat. That works, definitely. Especially if you get the masseuse to the room and, you know, get a massage before you go on. I mean, that's got to be nice.
And let's not forget that you know, I had a drum tech, so I didn't have to travel my drums and set them up. You know, like
nice.
Someone did that for me. It was a dream come true. It was.
Yeah. I think that's probably the biggest reason why I never decided to be in a band, because I didn't want to do that every day. I just said, I can't. That's not for me. I don't want to do it. It's too much work.
Right.
So what would you say is your favorite genre of music when you listen to, like, when you're home?
Yeah, that's a tough one, because I mean, I could listen to the Beatles for like 3 days, but then I won't listen to them for a year. And then I'm listening to fusion, you know, like Chick Corea and Alan Holdsworth and Tony Williams' Lifetime and all that stuff. And I'll get into The Who, get into some R&B, and I get into some jazz, you know.
Nice.
I like everything. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chick Corea, he actually showed up as a unannounced guest at the Clearwater Jazz Festival. That we have a big jazz festival here, which is beautiful. If you're ever in the area, I think you'd really enjoy that. It's on the water, and it's just a great place to see a whole weekend festival. But I was like, yes, Chick Corea was up on stage. It was just great. I think he played right before Earth, Wind, and Fire got up there or something like that. And I had never seen him live, and I've only listened to his albums, and I was just like blown away.
Yeah, he's amazing. I remember there's a performing arts center in Clearwater, right? It's like a whitish building.
Are you thinking of the Capitol Theater?
It's not a proper
theater. Oh,
no,
it's the Mahaffey Theater?
Yeah, I think that's it.
It looks like the Lincoln Center kind of a feel?
Yes.
Yes, the Mahaffey Theater. That's in St. Petersburg, downtown St. Pete. It's a beautiful theater. Yeah, very nice.
Right.
I was so excited to see that was here, because moving from New York to Florida here in Tampa and St. Pete area, I was very had trepidations about making the move, but I just thought, well, New York kind of runs its course after a while. As you would know, in a big city, you start to feel like, okay, I can't breathe anymore. I need some space. I need to like just decompress a little bit. So the move, thankfully, Tampa's got some really great restaurants here. They have some really fun things, which it's not like I'm in the boonies, So I'm like, okay.
Right.
And if you ever get down this way, please, give me a buzz and I'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So, some of my friends mentioned to me, like, Vegas, man, what are you doing there? But, they have some of the greatest restaurants here. And if you like nature, I live 10 minutes from the Red Rocks Mountains. And like,
oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then, if they hit me with there's no culture, I'll say, well, I get on the plane and come visit New York.
That's right. And now there's so many flights going back and forth every day. It's amazing. You have your pick.
Yep.
One other question I have for you. For those listening out there today who are like trying to break into the business, or they're just trying to become artists and get their brand out there and become successful, do you have any words of wisdom to offer them?
Yeah. If they have the talent and the, what they say, if you could come up with the good, if you have that, you shouldn't give up, and you should be nice. Don't have an attitude. Just be a nice person. Respect other people, because you wouldn't believe what I've seen. I mean, I've seen guys that were super talented talk their way out of the business.
Wow.
Yeah. So, if you are talented, and just along with that, just be a good person, and that'll get you pretty far.
So basically you want them to check their egos at the door and just like get real and do the right thing.
That's kind of what I mean.
I love it. And that is the way to go, because, I know when I worked in the music business, the egos, I would deal with some of these lawyers, and I was like, no, you're not like cursing at me. No, I don't take that crap. And I'm just like hanging up the phone on them thinking, no, not going to happen. But
no, that's
more
really
peace that way. Yeah. So you have a Facebook page. How can our listeners stay in touch with you? What is your Facebook page address?
It's just my name, Alan Child.
Cool. And if they want to pedo, I'll put the link to your show in the show notes. It was DDTV?
Oh, WWDD Corporation.
DD Corporation. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I know you need to wrap this up, because I know you have a show to do this evening, so I don't want to keep you. I want to say thank you so much for being here tonight to talk with me and to our listeners, and to give us those pearls of wisdom. And I can't wait to get out to Vegas and see your show. I've definitely got to catch it, because I've got the bug now, and I want to go. I want to see it. And again, if you're ever here in Tampa, or if you need me for anything, to just let me know and give me a shout.
Well, thanks, Don, and thanks for having me. And let me know when you're out here, and we'll rock the Rio.
Sounds good to me. All right. And for those of you listening out there, thanks again for stopping by. And remember, it's never too late to begin to live the life of your dreams. Rock on and rock out, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Namaste.